Looking out on the morning rain, I used to feel so uninspired until the day I met you, Weenie Mushane. Life was so unkind. Your love was my peace of mind. You know why? Why is that? 'Cause you make me feel like a natural woman. Do I? Yeah. Okay, baby, baby. Hello, everyone. And welcome back to BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO, the podcast, the live stream podcast about Ojibwe language and culture. I am Natasha, over here, the star of the show. NANABOOZHOO, IKADOBOOZHOO, Weenie Mushane. Say hello, sweetheart.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show.
And over here, the rock star cartoonist himself, Michael Lyons. IKADOBOOZHOO, Niji. Say hello to the people.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to the show. BOOZHOO.
And my name's Natasha. And cousin Missy, front and center. BOOZHOO, Mino Giga Shabe, Missy. Missy's here, sweetie.
Okay, BOOZHOO, Missy.
Let's give her a gold star for the day.
Oh, we're doing that again?
Yeah, I like the stars.
All right. Gold star for Missy.
Get a gold star. Wally Bear 69. I don't know what Wally Bear's up to. I'm suspecting mischief, but he's in second place. BOOZHOO, Niji. Hello, brother. Silver star for the Wally Bear.
Wally Bear gets a silver star?
And Kaya's here. Mino Giga Shabe. Kaya, good morning. Let's get the bronze star for third place for Kaya.
Kaya, BOOZHOO.
All right. And John Redcorn, free Indian tacos at Dacoy Corns for NANABOOZHOO crew. All right, let's go get some Indian tacos.
Oh, that's disgusting.
You don't like Indian tacos?
What, do I look like a cannibal?
No, silly. That's not the kind of tacos NANABOOZHOO thinks I make it out of Indians. No, it's Indian. It's taco seasoning, whatever, on fry bread.
Oh, okay, yeah, that sounds good then.
And this concludes our comedy bit.
Yeah, that's pretty good, huh?
Yeah, huh? Just riffing here on a Tuesday morning. Nisho Gisha good. It is the second day. It is the second day in a row of pretty sweet warm weather. Although it's going to be 10 below tomorrow. But whatever. Just going to, keep my head down, get through it one day. But then we'll be back to springtime weather. Oh, it's warming up. You know why, sweetie?
Because it's crust on the snow moon?
Exactly. You're so smart. Today is Ona Bunny Jesus, crust on the snow moon. We just started the month of March. And March is, in Ojibwe, we call this the crust on the snow moon. Because, like I was just saying, it warms up for a couple of days and stuff starts to melt. And then we'll get a day like tomorrow. Oh, it's 10 below again. And it'll freeze up. And it creates this crust on the snow. You can walk on the snow. If you're not too fat. But then you could just walk on the crust on the snow moon. That is what March is known for. Ona Bunny Jesus. Ona Bunny Jesus. O's. You pronounce like O, like in Ojibwe. 2 A's are like in father. 1 A is as in what should I talk about today? Ona bunny. I always say E, but it's actually ona bunny. Onabunna. And then 2 eyes is the E sound, like in E, a mouse. Oh no. E, jump up on a chair. We don't get mice anymore since that old Bagheera moved in. We got a killer on the loose.
Yeah, no kidding.
Before we got Bagheera, yesterday we were talking about grief and stuff. And, we had this beautiful cat, Princess. Princess lived here and he was our favorite person in the world. And Princess passed away and our hearts broke. We were Gush Kingdom. Or Gush Kingdom mowing. Nin Gush Kingdom, I'm sad. And Gush Kingdom mowing is sadness, grief. But, so I thought, well, I'm never going to get another cat. Too hard. It's too hard when they die. Forget it. No more pets. Until I saw a big old mouse. Just a fat... I mean, what's the difference between a rat and a mouse?
I don't know. A rat's gray.
This thing was like the size of a gray squirrel with a skinny tail. Just crawling across the countertop. I was like, oh, gross. I don't want any mouse. And so then I was like, you know what? Maybe we should get another cat. And I wanted a big, fat, mean cat with all of its claws and teeth. I didn't care. Let them chew up the furniture. I just didn't want any mice. And sure enough, Bagheera's never caught a mouse, but I've never seen one again in the last 3-4 years we've had them. 3 years?
I think it's 3.
We should pay attention. I have no idea how old our cat is. Anyway, how you guys doing? La-di-da. Jim Dunn's here.
Really? The Jim Dunn?
Yeah, like Jim. He's here.
Hey, okay, BOOZHOO, Jim.
What's going on, Jim? I'll do the small town chin wave. That's what people from small towns do when they're driving. You be driving in your pickup, see someone you know. Ooh, doo doo, la la la. Sunny day, sweeping the clouds away. On my way to Sesame Street. Oh, you guys turned into on a good day today. I feel like singing. You got a cute way of talking. You got the better of me. Just snap my fingers and I'm walking. Hanging on. La-dee-dee-dee. Anyway. Today, let's get down to serious business. Migazy. Eagle. Oh, look at the sacred eagle. Oh, Mr. Big Shot, bird in the sky. They say in the 7 grandfather teachings, oh, look out. The eagle, he represents Zag-Irwin. He represents love itself. Oh, everybody loves the eagle. Well, not me. I talked about this a little bit yesterday. I don't care. I really don't care. Nin anawanum. I dislike eagles.
Really? Why?
Well, I just don't respect them.
But they're a national symbol and they represent the traditional life ways of the Native American.
Yeah, why? Oh, I'm the messenger to people's prayers. So say your stupid little cult of eagle worshippers. No, I've had it with this. Oh, the eagle is the best bird. Can't kill it. Meanwhile, everyone's shooting grouse and partridge and the poor ducks and the geese. What'd they ever do to you? Nothing. But the eagle? Eagle's a symbol for the money, greed, American imperialism. I won't have it. So from now on, I no longer recognize the protected status of the Migazy, of the eagle. I'm going eagle hunting. You with me or against me?
I'm against you.
You're against me? You're not going to go out and just randomly murder eagles with me? I thought you loved me.
I don't want to shoot eagles. Come on.
Migazy, eagle. Big, dumb, ugly bird. Eats roadkill. Oh, such a great hunter. Oh, really? How come then all I ever see you is on the side of the road eating dead stuff? Oh, look. Here's a carcass of a deer somebody hit with their car. Oh, I'm a great hunter. I'm going to go eat it. Until the crows scare me away. Overrated, I say. Ever since I heard the story of the eagle attacking my grandma's neighbor's cat, I'm like, you know what? To heck with eagles. I don't care. Sorry, Medewi win, people. Sorry, traditionals. I no longer care. Ooh, look at me, the eagle staff. Ooh, I got an eagle whistle. I'll call in the spirits. That's what they say. if you blow eagle whistle, especially at night, the spirits will come. Oh, really? What is it, like a dog whistle for ghosts? Eagles. Oh, America, land of the free, the eagle. Really? It should be the land of the barbecued eagle. I bet you it tastes just like chicken.
Probably does.
Only a lot more of it. They're big. So, yeah, whatever. And this has been your Ojibwe cultural teaching for the day. Just don't care, sweetie. I don't care.
You don't care?
Nope. So, how are you guys doing? You hanging in there? Has it been a tough winter? Does it make you crabby? Give it the blues? Do you find yourself lashing out at dumb stuff like eagles? The very nature of it. Have you become racist against an eagle? What is that called if you hate a whole species?
Speciest.
Speciest. I'm a speciest. I'm racist against bald eagles. Migazy. Big, dumb, overrated eagle, I say. People just see an eagle flying around. Oh, Miigwech Gitchi Manadu put out some tobacco. I saw an eagle. Big deal. I saw a chickadee. I saw a hummingbird. Levitate. How about that? Everybody's, big ass. Oh, excuse me. I just swore.
Don't swear at a children's show.
Sorry, guys. Here's a story about swearing. When I was a little girl, back in the days of the grandfathers, I went to kindergarten, and there was this girl there named Andrea, but we all called her Andy. And Andy was a little blonde girl. I still remember her hair was cut just like Mowgli in the Jungle Book. She had kind of a bowl haircut.
Oh, yeah, I know that look.
Anyway, really cute girl, but kind of a naughty girl. And it was on one of the first days of class. You know, I didn't know any of these kids. You're like 5 or 6 years old. We're going to the kindergarten room. And there's a big old chalkboard there. This is back in the days before the whiteboards. It was a green chalkboard, and the teacher would have to get a piece of white chalk. And, I grew up in like Little House on the Prairie days. But, so Andy was just some fascinating girl. The teacher got up and had to go like to the bathroom or something. We were left alone. And Andy jumps up and she goes to that chalkboard and she grabs a little piece of chalk and she writes A. There's a word, A. S. A-S means as. And then she drew another S and went, ass. And she put the chalk down and sat down. And we all busted out laughing. The teacher came in. She just kind of smiled and wrote. And I was like, oh, wow. I think that was the first time I heard somebody say a swear word. And she wrote it in big capital letters. And I was just amazed and fascinated by this little rebel. She was, practicing her freedom of speech, her First Amendment, rights, even as a little girl. I think she grew up to become a lawyer. Last I heard. Andy. But anyway, so, don't swear, kids. And don't point with your finger. And don't point at an eagle. Because they're sacred. Sacred. Sacred, they say, sweetie.
Yeah, it's sacred.
Like what's not sacred?
That's a good question.
How can you know what sacred is if you don't know what's not sacred? Oh, everything's sacred. Then nothing's sacred. Zaga, 80 win, love. But, I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I just don't know, sweetie. But, what were we going to talk about today, sweetie? I can't remember.
I don't know. Do you want to take a call?
Yeah, I'll take a call. What line?
On line 2.
Line 2. Hello, caller. Welcome to the BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO podcast. You're on the air.
Hey, Natasha. How you doing?
Well, hi, Keanu Reeves. Sweetie, it's Keanu Reeves.
Oh, wow, the big movie star. BOOZHOO, Keanu Reeves. Hey, NanaBOOZHOO. How you doing, dude? Oh, I'm doing all right. Say, Natasha.
Yeah, what can I do for you today?
I was wondering if I could learn the Ojibwe word of the day.
Yeah, sure. Well, today is Tuesday, and we call it the second day. Nijo Gisha Good.
Nijo Gisha Good. Second day, Tuesday. All right, that's gnarly, dude.
Yeah. And, oh, you know what else, sweetie?
What's that?
It's, dig if you will, a picture day. Should we look at some art?
We could. What's, dig if you will, a picture day, Natasha?
Well, on Tuesdays, we used to do this thing. We've kind of fallen out of the habit of looking at artwork. And, we called it dig if you will, a picture. It will show artwork.
You know, my girlfriend's an artist.
Yeah, she's kind of an artist.
Yeah, she's a famous artist. You want to meet her?
We've met her a number of times. You always bring her out and then she poops her pants.
What? No. She's kind of old, but I don't even care. I love her because of who she is on the inside. I don't care that she's all old and nasty and gross. Hey, hot girlfriend, come on. You want to be on a BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO podcast?
What's that, Sonny?
I say you want to be on the BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO podcast. Natasha's talking about art. Maybe she'll show one of your pictures.
Well, I just don't know, sweetie. Hello? Hello? Who's there? Hi, Keanu Reeves' girlfriend. How are you this morning? I just don't... What's going on? You're on the BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO podcast. We're a podcast about Ojibwe language and that. And, your boyfriend just called in for some reason. Yeah, he wants to learn the Ojibwe words. Yeah. And so we were talking about Ojibwe, but, he says you're a painter. What? He says you like to paint? Yeah, I do. I'm a famous painter, you know. Can I pull up one of your paintings? Hey, what? I'm going to pull up one of your paintings real quick. Well, I don't know. Wait, that's a picture of the eagle. I like to do my paintings and my art. Yeah. We've shown your painting before. Here's my picture. Yeah, it's your picture, all right. So this is a style of art. I'm not even sure what it's called exactly. Here's my paintings. I know it's your paintings, but it's got like... Oh, wait, I think this is backwards. Here's your... Oh, thank you, dear. I mean, like, how can you even tell? So, you're an artist, are you? Here's a bunch of my paintings. I love to paint the paintings. So, yeah. Anyway. Keanu Reeves' girlfriend. I hear you're going to do a children's book. Well, Keanu, we've got you right to children. Isn't that right, dear?
Yeah, that's right, girlfriend. I'm going to write a children's book. And then my girlfriend, she's going to illustrate it.
Yeah, I want to illustrate a children's book. Yeah, I'd like to see that. But anyway, so yeah, I don't know. So we're dig, if you will, a picture day. That's sometimes we put up paintings we don't like to. Don't you like my paintings, sweetheart? No, it's just terrible. I don't know why nobody tells you that to your face, but that's not even good. Hey, that's why you little slipper stepper. What do you know about art? Why I to get? Oh, I pooped myself.
Did you poop yourself, darling?
Hey, I pooped my Depends.
Natasha, I gotta get going. Gotta change her nasty Depends. She pooped herself again.
Yeah, she does that a lot, huh?
Yeah. Hey, how do you say, I'll see you again in Ojibwe?
I would say, Gigawaba man, Manawa.
Gigawaba man, Manawa, Natasha.
Yeah, you too, buddy.
Hey, Nanaboozhoo. Oh, yeah, what? Gigawaba man, Manawa. I'll see you again.
Yeah, you too, buddy. Okay, see you, Keanu. His girlfriend, she pooped herself. Yeah, she's got a problem. I know. And he always brings up how she's old. I don't know why he's so fixated on that. It's not even funny. So, yeah, art. Art. What is it worth? I like this picture of Princess. That's what I think art is. Yeah. But, did you want to get up here? Yeah, I think I should get up there. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to let Nanaboozhoo get up here. But first, let's pause for this commercial break. This is a book by Michael Lyons. And,
Dog and My Inga.
by Michael Lyons. Hello.
Bonjour.
One.
Beijig.
One dog.
Beijig Anamosh.
One wolf.
Beijig Mahinga.
Two.
Nij.
Two eagles.
Nij Migazi Wug.
Three.
Niswe.
Three bears.
Niswe Mukwug.
Four.
Niwin.
Four raccoons.
Niwin Asivanang. Nanan.
Five. Five deer.
Nanan Wawa Shigeshi Wug.
Six.
Ningod Waswe.
Six crows.
Ningod Waswe Andeg Wug.
Seven.
Nij Waswe.
Seven rabbits.
Nij Waswe Wabuzug.
Eight.
Ish Waswe.
Eight squirrels.
Ish Waswe Misa Jitamug.
Nine.
Jangaswe.
Nine birds.
Jangaswe Beneshi Yug.
10.
Midaswe.
10 butterflies.
Midaswe Mamengwa. Miigwech.
Thank you. Dog and Maingan.
By Michael Lyons. Available at
Amazon.com. Dog and Maingan. We wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for Michael's books. Yeah, that's right, huh? The whole point of the show when we first started doing this was that Michael was doing these children's books and comics in Ojibwe and then share them on Facebook. And people started writing in. They're like, how do you pronounce that word? Ma-in-gan? And what? And then, like, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, 5 weeks later, 6 weeks later, 7 weeks later, 8 weeks later, 9 weeks later, 10 weeks later, 11 weeks later, 12 weeks later, 13 weeks later, 14 weeks later, 15 weeks later, 16 weeks later, 17 weeks later, 18 weeks later, 19 weeks later, 20 weeks later, 21 weeks later, 22 weeks later, 23 weeks later, 24 weeks later, 25 weeks later, 26 weeks later, 27 weeks later, 28 weeks later, 29 weeks later, 30 weeks later, 31 weeks later, 32 weeks later, 33 weeks later, 34 weeks later, 35 weeks later, 36 weeks later, 37 weeks later, 38 weeks later, 39 weeks later, 40 weeks later, 41 weeks later, 42 weeks later, 43 weeks later, 44 weeks later, 45 weeks later, 46 weeks later, 47 weeks later, 48 And so then we were like, well, how about I get on video and I'll pronounce Ma'ingan. Dog and Ma'ingan. And you count to 10. Beijig, Nij, Niswe, Niwin, Nanan. Then God waswe, Nij waswe, Nish waswe, Ish waswe, Jungaswe, Medaswe. You know. We've had to count on here numerous times. Yeah, I love when the count calls in. He loves to count in Ojibwe. La la la. Shoot me an immature golden eagle, Natasha. Grassroots Indian wants a nice, tender, immature golden eagle. You got it. She's gonna go on a killing spree of eagles, and I think the Indian community is gonna. They're not gonna take that lying down, sweetie. I'm not gonna kill Indians. I'm just gonna kill eagles. Yeah, but they're sacred to the, the Shanabs. well, they better. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe they should arm the eagles. Should we arm the eagles? Give them a fighting chance. Like in the Ukraine, when they just give people AK-47s. Like everybody got one. The government went, here, don't forget to grab your machine gun, just in case you have to kill somebody. Thereby making every citizen of that country a target of war. Drones don't generally shoot unarmed people. They shoot people with AK-47s. I don't know. And just like that, COVID is over. Is COVID over? I think so. It's like all that brouhaha in Canada happened. And then the truckers had their little protest. Just in time for the rest of the world to go, okay, fine, who cares? I don't know. Never mind that. It's been 2 years. We're sick of thinking about masks and vaccinations. Look, here's a war in Russia. Pay attention to that. It's like, really? Well, it kind of happened like this with AIDS, remember? Yeah, there just came a day where AIDS, it was on the news every day. There was a list of people who were dying of AIDS. One after another, celebrities, regular people. All global pandemic. AIDS. It ruined the dating lives of every kid in the 80s. Suddenly you thought you were going to die of an incurable disease. And then something else happened in the news, and people stopped talking about AIDS. And somehow Dr. Fauci took credit for curing it. Well, that's because I wasn't touring with poison this summer, and I cured AIDS. Although they've never cured AIDS. I don't know what's going on there. I don't either. But just after a while, people get, they get fatigued. They get sick of worrying about something. They just can't decide, it's over now. Kind of like 9/11. Everybody was afraid of terrorists for a couple of years. And then you're going to go, whatever. I can't walk around scared for the rest of my life. What else is on TV? So now they roll out, hey, Russia is invading the Ukraine. Be afraid of this thing. China is going to kill us. Oh, okay. All the world's indeed a stage. We are merely players. Hey, Joseph's here. BOOZHOO, Joe. What's going on, Joe? A lot of running, but still the only show I try to catch. Hey, I'm glad you're here. Especially over all the BS on now. Yeah, is it just me, or does it seem like harder to find anything entertaining to watch? Like, my Facebook account has been so corrupted with ads and whatever censorship thing that it's not even... It's kind of like, you know that one weird newspaper they deliver to your mailbox And it's just a bunch of ads and a couple of local columns from some fishing writer, fishing should be good on the East, just this weird free newspaper that's mostly just ads. Facebook's like that for me now. I never see pictures of old friends doing anything. And same thing with YouTube. Like, why are they still recommending stuff that I've seen over and over again? Hey, here's a video from 6 years ago. Ooh, the Mandela effect. What? You're still talking about that? But, I don't know. I think they've blocked all my conspiracy channels, so there's a lot of stuff I used to watch that they don't recommend anymore. And then also we've censored ourselves, I think. Yeah. If it's not like Big Brother censoring us, sometimes I think we've just done it to ourselves. Like everyone's afraid to say things about the V word. The V word, vagina? No, the vaccination. Oh, right. The vaccination for the C word. C word, you mean? Don't say it. I wasn't gonna. Coronavirus. Yeah, coronavirus. That is hilarious. The V word and the C word are not what you think. They're virus and corona. Or whatever, COVID. But, yeah, people got afraid. There was a psychological operation. They made everyone believe that Big Brother was watching. And if you said something about the vaccination or the COVID, that either the computer itself, YouTube itself, would censor you, shadow ban, or the community of outraged people would try to ban you. Because the news will show lots of things. Oh, this guy dared question the vaccinations. And so we all got together and made him get fired from his job. His wife left him. That's what you get for questioning Dr. Fauci, a.k.a. CC DeVille. But I think some of that we just do it ourselves. I know I've done it. I'm afraid to just talk freely. We do have that one little race card that sort of trumps any liberals from getting mad at us. Like, I can get away with calling Indian children, red-skinned savages. Nobody gets mad at me. But like if a white person were to say that, oh, here comes those little salves, because they're my kids. I mean, I don't have any children of my own, but Indian person can call other Indian people salves or Indians. It's like the N word. White people have censored themselves not to say the N word. I was thinking about this the other day too, when the whole argument comes up, like, what is the N word? Oh, why can't you say it? Oh, it's racist. Because that word is hateful. You must never have hate in your heart. Or people will say stuff like, I have no hate. Like, did I miss a meeting where we all agreed that hate was no longer allowed? Only love? It's like, what's wrong with hate? Go on, you can hate whatever you like. Hate away. Be intolerant. You have the right, that's your God-given right to be a jerk. I don't care. I'm impervious to racism or whatever the ism is. Because you have to play along and, the word has to mean something and you've got to agree to be offended by it. How dare you? How dare you use the N-word? Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, nigger. I think we should make a law that would ban anybody saying that terrible N-word. Do you agree with me, Arnold Schwarzenegger? Nigger? You're going to get into trouble. That's his name. You can't say it like that. Why not? Well, that's what you're talking about. That's a banned word. Why? Because it's a hateful word. Yeah, but aren't we allowed to hate? You know, because when black people use it, they're not using it in a hateful way, and nobody. Because here's the thing. This is what I think is funny about the N-word or this censorship idea. It's actually white people who are the most offended by that word, and the least likely to use it. You know, you're much more likely, if there's like a graph or a survey, who is more likely to use the N-word? A black person or a white person? 100 times more often is it said by a black person. Oh, no. They say nigga. It's like, shut up. It's the same word. Don't squabble over pronunciation. I don't know. But white people, they'll lose their minds if another white person says it. Black person, I don't think. Like, remember that there was that one Family Guy where Peter thinks it's the last day of, like, a meteor is going to hit the earth or something, and there's the last day and everyone's going to die. So he decides to go to the black part of this town and yell the N-word. And he comes back and he's wearing a sash and a crown and a scepter. And it said King of the Niggers or something like that. He said, they respected me for it. But it's like that word you're not allowed to use. So people think you're not allowed. But of course you are. But we censor ourselves. You know. But it's one of my favorite things about Indian people. Like this right here, this is a racist thing to say. I'm lumping up all people together based on race and discriminating and assuming a generalized thing. But in my experience, Indian people are the last ones to get aboard the political correctness. Like, they're not necessarily against it, but nobody remembers to say, oh no, from now on, we're calling ourselves First Nations. Hey everybody, did you get the memo? Indian, that's the I word. That's Columbus word. We're not going to say that anymore. We are Native Americans. We are Indigenous Americans. No, we are the, Bejigo Anishinaabe. We are the first people. But then in regular usage, Indian people just say Indian. Like, what? Yeah, I don't know. I got bigger problems than worrying about your words. Oh no. He pronounced certain syllables together. You know, what should be done? What I call the Terminator? He's the only one who can help us end racism. And especially that racist word, that hateful, because you're not allowed to hate. It's like, really? Why? Hate away. You can have whatever feeling. I'm not going to tell you to not hate. Hate me. That's your feelings inside you. You can't hurt me with your emotions. If you can love me, you can also hate me. I can't dictate which feelings in your heart you should have. But one of these days we'll vote actor, Hungarian immigrant Arnold Schwarzenegger nigger back to the government. He can be the governor of California again. He could be the governor of Screw Your Freedoms. Yeah, remember that? Screw Your Freedoms. That's when Schwarzenegger wanted to mandate that everybody would, like sleep in surgical masks and stuff. And he was all like, screw your freedoms. My father was, not a joke, not fake news, a member of the Nazi Party in Hungary or Austria or wherever he's from.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is the son of a full-blown white supremacist. You know, screw my freedoms? That's terrifying coming from you, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Sweetie! Part of me wonders if there isn't like, artificial intelligence is going to, some alarm will sound and be like, hey, this guy's making fun of the vaccinations and the N-word. Joe Rogan got in a bunch of trouble because he had said it. But it's like, so what? Look at a skinhead, Joe Rogan, saying the N-word. I told you the KKK was a real thing. It's like, what? Can anybody show me a video of a KKK meeting? Just of somebody's phone? How about a poster in some redneck bar that says, this Saturday, we're meeting the KKK members of wherever. Because, I don't think that's real anymore. I think they want us to think that we live in this like racist country. And yet it's really hard to find just a straight up, old style racist like you'd see in the movies. Like Ed Norton on American History X. Where are those guys? I guess they're gangs in jail of white supremacists.
Yeah, I think that's where they live.
They just live in jails.
Yeah.
I don't know. Wally Bear says, why does Nanaboozhoo remind me of Thomas? Thomas builds the fire? Yeah, I've heard that before. Hey, Victor. Where's your dad? Does he hate you? Hey, Thomas. What color do you think your parents were when they burned to death? We're going to do that one of these days, sweetie.
I know.
We're going to watch Smoke Signals or something together with you guys. And just make smart aleck comments all the way through. Make jokes. Wally Bear says, if Fauci is CC DeVille, then I'm Brett Michaels. Cool! Did you know Brett Michaels is Wally Bear?
No way!
Awesome! I mean, you said it, not me. But you can't tell me that, here he is. Oh, sure. That's not Anthony Fauci. No. Take a good look, Brett Michaels. That's your boy. He's been playing around. He's been playing God with viruses and stuff. How about let me see if I can find the other one. Oh, come on, Keanu. Where are you? Hang on, this is totally worth it.
You gonna find a picture of Fauci?
I'm going to find the other picture of CC DeVille when he's not wearing his wig or his eyeliner. How come these aren't coming up, sweetie?
I don't know.
Okay. Last chance. You know what it was? I started using the N-word. And now the technology. This is the war of the machines against... Oh, no, wait. Or How can that not be the same guy?
Maybe they're brothers.
Or maybe maybe there's more to Anthony Fauci. Tell you the truth, if this was true, I'd actually like Anthony Fauci better.
Would you really?
Yeah, kind of. Because then I'd know he could riff on the guitar and he, da 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 bop 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 do 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 do. I can't remember any Poison songs except this one. La city, la la la. Don't remember the words. Are they the same guy? I don't know. But what if it's like a actor-based reality, sweetie? What if everybody in the world stage are just actors playing a part? And sometimes they double up. This week, he's playing CC DeVille in a band. Next week, they call him up, go, hey, CC, we have another mission for you. I want you to put on the doctor's outfit. And can you invent a virus and then invent the cure? And he's like, you want me to cure it too? Well, don't cure it. Have kind of a, I don't know, call it a vaccination, but make sure it doesn't do anything. Make sure that you mandate it for everyone to get it so they don't get the virus. But then make sure that they get the virus and spread it anyway. But make sure the virus isn't that big of a deal unless you're already in your 80s and overweight and have other diseases. Then it'll kill you. And if you're Bob Saget. And he's like, will do, Mr. President. And this is a story of Anthony Fauci and CC DeVille. Okay, Surrealist, BOOZHOO. Surrealist is here, sweetie.
Bino Gigajabe. Good morning.
Surrealist says, we're censoring ourselves. Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. We are not allowed to the word Indian anymore. The Indian maiden on the Land O'Lakes butterbox has been removed. Mascot's gone. Yeah, they made us feel ashamed of being stereotypical. What's wrong with being a stereotype? I like the Indian maiden. She was cute. But yeah, they relocated the Indian maiden off of Land O'Lakes. They kept the land and the lakes, but then they moved her over to a reservation, I think. They put her onto the Trail of Tears. Go on now, you racist stereotype. Land O'Lakes girl. Oh, and the mascots too. Oh, no more fighting Sioux. They're now called the Surrendering Dakota. Oh, we're the Fighting Hawks. I don't know. Wally Bear says, now compare yourself to Thomas builds a teepee. Thomas builds a teepee. There's builds a fire. Thomas builds a teepee. Crazy Cooter. CC stands for Crazy Cooter? What's a cooter?
You don't know what a cooter is?
Now I'm afraid I might. Did you keep it clean? It's a children's show. Unskinny bop bop bop. Is that what that song is? Unskinny bop? Unskinny bop bop bop. Is that like being fat? Is it racist? Yeah. Everything is racist if you ask me. I walk around all day long. Look at that, racist. Racist. Good morning, racists. If you really want to think about it. Oh, is America racist? Hello? Take it from me. Land of opportunity? Huh. Not hardly. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock? She landed on us. Nah. When I was a young man, I saw racism everywhere. And then when I became an old man, I had a hard time finding it anywhere. I'm like, you know what? People are really nice to me by and large. You know, it's kind of like that old saying they say, you know, if you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, you'd be surprised how many jerks you find in the world. You know, if you're looking for it, man, the world's going to present just one jerk after another, every shape and size, you know. But then, you know, you fall in love or something, and pretty soon, every person, the one after the next, is awesome. People are smiling at you, high-fiving you on Walmart. And you go, what happened? Are people awesome or terrible? Is this the Matrix where it's just kind of... Sometimes I wonder if we don't live in like a matrix, like a simulation, where what we think creates it. I'm not sure how this works. Are we all living our own personal illusion? Or do we create it for others? Are some people more powerful at manifesting? You know, is life awesome or horrible? You know, sometimes I think like the news and the psychological operations and the censorships or whatever is that somebody's really knows that, yeah, actually this is all an illusion, but the people are the ones creating the illusion. It's like, yeah, it is a video game and you're a player in the video game, but the players are actually creating the world with their thoughts. And so when they get us thinking a certain way, hey, did you know that racism is this terrible problem in 2022? And man, it's worse now than it was during the time of slavery. It's like, what? Really? And you start thinking a certain way, and then sure enough, now you go into certain neighborhoods and certain cities, and it's like Mad Max. And seems divided by race and tribes and violent war and tribal skirmishes between rival gangs and identities of, you know, oh, I'm MS-13, West Side, you know, whatever. Or you fall in love, now suddenly it's like, you just notice how everybody is a friend. Oh, yesterday, shout out to my friend Chad. You know, the last true victim of racism in Bemidji. Chad's a white male, a white straight male. The only thing to make him worse is if he was a Christian. And he works in, you know, this. He works in like adoption stuff. And he's part of the problem with that Indian Child Welfare Act. You know, discriminating against white people, can't even adopt an Indian kid. Indian kids are the best. But no, you don't let a white person get them. They got to be raised by another Shanab. How is that not racist? Yeah, no kidding. You guys know about that? The Indian Child Welfare Act. It says that, you know, and make no mistake, there's a serious problem of children without parents in Indian communities on the res. Even with these huge extended families and stuff like that, the foster care system is overwhelmed with Indian kids. But we're the one race that gets discriminated against or for, where they made a law, the Indian Child Welfare Act, that said a Indian kid had to be adopted by other Indian people. They couldn't be adopted by black people or white people because they wouldn't learn their culture. They might not know their language, you know, because every Indian person's just walking around the house singing Ojibwe songs. But so anyway, there's all these stories, you know. I think it's still going on. A little white couple is raising an Indian girl, a foster girl, for 10 years of her life. That's her parents. She's got siblings and all this. Then social services comes in one day. Hey, we found a second cousin who lives on the res. Says he's willing to take your child away. So we're here to take your kid away. It's not really yours because you guys are whiteies. And they'll take the kid and, it's just heart-wrenching. You'll see this little Indian girl, Mommy, no! And the government's tearing them away. There you go. They think they're doing a good thing. Back with where you belong, with your people. Because that's how you are identified, through and through. This color of your skin. Now go on. Go live with your cousins up here in Red Lake. Enjoy. Oh, watch out for all the meth heads. They come out after dark. We're the government, and we're here to help.
Yeah.
But anyways, shout out to my white friend, which is totally racist. I just called him that. To my buddy Chad. In my life, Bemidji, so this is kind of my point with racism. When I was a kid, I was brainwashed to go, yeah, Bemidji, racist town. Bunch of racists. Just take a look in them jails. It's all Indian brothers. They're coming down on a Naniji. Those racist cops in that racist town called Bemidji Gamug. Their mascot is a giant white man clear-cutting our woods. Stealing our blue oxen and that, But whatever. And then I grew up and I was like, you know what, actually, Bemidji people fall over themselves to be friendly and helpful. So my pickup conked out at Walmart yesterday. I got it started for the first time in like 2 weeks. Drove to the bank, blah, blah, blah. Went to Walmart, got a bunch of groceries, came back out and it wouldn't start. Had the hood up there, and I halfway expected my experience in Bemidji, this has happened a few times, and I've lived here many years, is that somebody just walking around will come up and go, hey, you need a jump? Can I help you start your car? I'm just a guy here who has jumper cables, whatever. But I didn't have to wait around long enough to have one of the locals help me because my buddy Chad, phone call away, middle of the day, drops everything, comes to my aid in Walmart parking lot. Because he's a real man and knows about cars and stuff, he doesn't just have cables. He's got a magic little box that has like lights on it and stuff. Hooks it up to my battery and it charges it or something. I get in the car 4 minutes later and boom, it's up and charging. He came to my rescue. He's one of those friends that you can call in a moment when you need help. And not only is he willing to help, he actually can help. And he came out and jumped the car. So, miigwech, Chad. Thank you for being such a true friend and helping us out. And I'm sorry that everybody says you're racist. I'm sorry that you get blamed for everything that goes wrong in this country. The white man isn't our enemy. There, I said it. Some of the greatest white men in the country have been actors and governors, like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Nigger.
Sweetie, quit saying that.
The boarding school let Native American children be adopted out as slaves and servants. Yeah, there was that kind of issue too. The old boarding school kids would get quote unquote fostered out to go work at a farm or whatever. What was that book? Something about flowers?
Yeah, it's a good book.
Yeah. That's why the outraged Indians protested to adopt the Indian Child Welfare Act. Yeah. But come on now, it's 2022. They're not enslaving children anymore. I think we can trust white people to Adopt Indian kids. I was at Target the other day, had one of those secret shoppers following me around. I made him work for his money. Walked around the same aisle 5 times. Yeah. Wally Bear was getting stalked by the secret shopper. Yeah. Well, Wally, they probably can see a criminal when they see one. They probably know a criminal when they see one. Wally walks in there all shifty in his long trench coat and his, tattoos and all that. And he's like, oh, why do those guys assume I'm a criminal? As he's got a 45 shoved in the back of his pants. Those guys are racist. Oh, really? I have no idea if that's true. It's probably not.
I'm sure it's not true.
She really says, thanks, Chad, for jumping Nanaboozhoo. See you there, Chad. Chad Rabinsky. One of my closest friends. I don't even know his last name. Chad Rabinsky. He should run for mayor.
I know, but everyone hates him because he's white and bald.
Yeah. He's also a Chad, by the way. He's this big, tall, muscle-bound dude with a shaved head. He kind of looks like Ed Norton in American History X.
Yeah, if he grew a goatee.
Oh, he'd be terrifying if he grew a goatee. Nobody wants to see a big, muscular, white guy with a shaved head and a goatee anymore. You know? Because that's racism right there. If you assume that a guy is going to be a neo-Nazi just because he's got a shaved head and a goatee and muscles and white skin. Racist. So racist. I'm going to put an end to racism, sweetie.
You think so?
Yep. Maybe that'll be the focus of this show from now on. Let's end racism. Did you know Indians were the first people to be called racists?
I did know that.
Yeah, because you watch the show, huh?
I do.
Not a lot of people know this, but the term racist didn't come about until the boarding school era. The U.S. government, the first time it was ever written in like an official document, racist, they used when referring to the Indian people who wouldn't send their kids, or who resisted sending their kids to boarding school. They said there was a type of Indian who wanted to hang on to their traditional ways. They were known as the Indian racists. Yep. Oh, you go up to Red Lake, there's lots of racists up there. They still speak their language and go racing and, feast on the blueberry pie. They are the racists. Somebody calls me a racist. I'm like, yeah, kind of. I am an Indian racist. Although I'm a fully assimilated, colonized racist. Like people think, oh, those colonizers are a bunch of racists. It's like, no, the racists are the ones who wouldn't be colonized. The Indian racists. But now they've turned it to mean that you are guilty of having hate in your heart. You must not dislike anything, sweetie. You can love all races. There's a ga-81. Oh, I love you. Giza ga-in. Every race. Because anawainam, nin anawainam. They also say Gina wainam. But anawainam, to dislike something. You're not allowed to dislike, oh, that's stupid, that's hate. You're basing your dislike on a characteristic that people can't help, the color of their skin. So that is ignorant, and it is hateful, and so you can't do that. I can't be dumb and hateful? Why not? I thought it was a free country. I fight for the rights for people to be dumb and ignorant and hate things. I don't care. I feel sorry for the racist. Nobody lets them just be themselves. People discriminate against racists.
Yeah, they do.
That's discrimination. When you say a racist can't what? Raise your children? Teach your children? Try to be a racist and get a job in a school. They will discriminate against you. You walk into that interview with a swastika tattooed on the side of your bald head, and instead of shaking hands, you sig heil or something. They're not going to hire you. They're going to discriminate. They're going to say that's hate, sweetie.
Yep. People are not accepting of racists.
No. And maybe they got a point. But that's what I'm saying. If I allow people to discriminate against racists, I should allow racists to discriminate against whoever they want to. Oh, I sure hate the Chinese. Well, just don't do anything violent. You can have your opinions. You know? I don't know any Chinese. That's the thing about being like ignorant racist. In northern Minnesota, we're really ignorant of just different cultures and that. There's Indian culture, and then there's like Scandinavian, rural, Midwestern culture. You know, we don't get a lot of representation from the Jewish community, the Asian Pacific Islander community, people think that Minnesota is like diverse now because Minneapolis has Ilhan Omar, that little cutie pie.
I know, she's so cute.
Yeah. Sorry, Republicans, but I like Ilhan Omar. I don't pay attention to politics. I don't care. She's cute. But, they see something in Minneapolis. They're like, oh, look at that diverse community. Such a thriving, African, whatever, neighborhood. And like, yeah, well, you drive 5 hours north and, we're in Garrison Keillor country up here. I've even told the story of the first time I met a black guy when I was a teenager and the school trip to the cities. Sharila says, hatred and stupidity go hand in hand, and lazy isn't too far behind. Yeah. I think lazy is sort of at the root of hatred and stupidity. When you just are so lazy you can't be bothered to learn anything. So you're just lazily full of hate because you're so stupid. I hate those guys. But what about like music? I hate blah, blah, blah. Maybe I'm too lazy to learn. I kind of hate rap music.
That's racist.
I know. I'm too lazy to learn anything about it. I'm pretty close-minded. I can listen to about 30 seconds of it and think, ugh. And now I'm in a weird position.
You gonna talk about this?
Yeah. Because I don't think she watches the show. I have a friend who is a rapper. And she's good at it. I mean, like, she'd probably be a great poet. I wish she'd just write poems. Or sing the song. But she created a song, a rap, to music, recorded her voice, rapping. And it was about a pretty, it was really well written. And it rhymes, Rap at least is, rhyming. It's as poetry, it can be, it can serve the same purpose. But it was a rap about missing and murdered Indigenous women. And in the first stanza, she uses the MF word and the B word. And my old conservative man, Uncle NANABOOZHOO, came out and went, you shouldn't use those words. Those are violent words against women. that's one of my problems with rap. And, I'm almost the opposite of being a feminist, but I don't think we're helping anybody, especially not women, when we refer to them as female dogs, or we ever refer to the act of somebody, MFing. To me, those are really harsh. That's a much worse word than the N-word. MFer. And bitch, actually. I mean, the way that dehumanizes a woman, to call her a bitch, is way worse than calling her a nigger. Quit using that word. You're going to get us into trouble. I know. Sorry, I don't mean to offend anybody. I just want to see if YouTube will let me get away with saying that. But I don't want to say the B word or the MF word, because I do think that's actually hurtful and ignorant, hateful of women. They don't even think they're doing that, but yeah. It's so hateful of women, because to call a person an MFer is to accuse them of doing the most disgusting, despicable, forbidden, hateful, sinful act you can imagine. Most taboo thing in the world. Why? I don't know. Has that been an hour yet, sweetie? Yeah, it's been an hour and 11 minutes. Oh, good. Because I ran out of stuff to say a long time ago. I know. We got to get out of here. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. Did I play Another Brick in the Wall yet? No, you didn't. Oh, for crying out loud. Let's send them out with Another Brick in the Wall. You guys, miigwech so much for watching BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO. If you'd like to support the show, we got links in the description. We have a Patreon page, PayPal. Can't even talk today. A PayPal page, a GoFundMe page, and you can order books on Michael Lyons at Amazon.com. Books like Anthony Fauci. Books like BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO, and many more are available. Anything else? Oh, that's pretty good. All right. This is Michael Lyons. Oh, miigwech, everyone. Thanks for watching the show. And over here, lovely and talented Natasha. Miigwech. See you tomorrow. Gigamab min minawa. Gigamab min minawa. Hoa. Miigwech bizendawiyak.
We don't need no education. We don't need no thought control. No dark sarcasm in the classroom. Teacher, leave them kids alone. Hey! Teacher, leave them kids alone. All in all, you're just another brick in the wall. All in all, you're just another brick in the wall. Daddy's flown across the ocean, leaving than just a memory. A snapshot in the family album. Daddy, what else did you leave for me? Daddy, what'd you leave behind for me? All in all, you're just another brick in the wall. All in all, you're just another brick in the wall. I don't need no arms around me, and I don't need no drugs to calm me. I have seen the writing on the wall. Don't think I need anything at all. Don't think I need anything at all. All in all, you were all just bricks in the wall. All in all, it was all just bricks in the wall. All in all, you were all just bricks in the wall. All in all, you were all just bricks in the wall. Ladies and gentlemen, Gabriela Quevedo, fingerstyle guitarist.